I gotta go to your page.
If you're feeling down or weak.
And now we wrote it, and we did the fundraiser. I raised money for it, and we're gonna see if we can.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fostering Legacies with me, your host, Denise Damijo, and Steve Vaccaro. This is where we are helping the foster care system, the children, the parents, to become and get resources and become better in the system. So our show is 8 p.m. through 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Steve, welcome.
Yeah, so you like the New York City background behind me?
I do. I'm all stale and white over here. It's no background over here. I need to get like you.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll get this down here. But the main thing is to get the message across to everybody about the foster care system and how it affects young people and foster care children, and how when they age out, we're going to really target that in the weeks ahead, because that's a big question. What happens to when they reach a certain age? Where do they go? What do they do? How do they cope? So that was very, very important. And I commend you for, putting everything together for us and really kind of navigating through this. So kudos to you, Denise.
It's definitely an honor. It's all about the kids, the families. And so we have a wonderful show lined up, and I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of great things that we're going to talk about. And, it's the holidays. And, a lot of things happen in the holidays. I particularly remember the holidays and how they were for me growing up in foster care, and the good and the bad, right? There was some good stuff and some bad stuff too.
There's good and bad. There's good and bad in experiences that I've had in the foster care system too. I tend to look at the good, reflect on the good, but learn from the bad, so that when we are in a position to help others, we empower others, and we learn from that personal experience. Because if I didn't have those bad experiences, I don't think I'd be as effective helping young people.
That's correct. And I was actually just talking about that earlier today. I do something called Monday Nuggets. And I used to do it way back in the days. And I said, you know what? I want to hop back on the band wheel of that and start doing it again. And so I started to do Monday Nuggets. And I was talking about, sometimes the things that happen to us are not always good, but they also help us to grow. We gather skills, we gather tools to use for the next lesson. And so I think that if we could be able to help children and families realize that their lives could be a lot better. And so there's this video that I saw, and it was just so amazing. It was all about foster care, and also the holidays. Thanksgiving's coming up. So let's check out that video.
They give and give. Today, it was their turn to sit down and be served.
Two Albuquerque businesses thank dozens of Albuquerque foster parents for providing good homes to many children. News 13's Crystal Gutierrez has more on this priceless Thanksgiving meal.
A free meal on Thanksgiving is not easy to come by these days, especially when your family outnumbers the cooking staff.
Did you plan on having a family this large?
No, planned on two.
What happened?
Yeah, lots of kids need a lot of places to go, and just kind of happens.
Angie Newman's family of 9 includes 5 adopted children and 2 foster sons.
I understood that they loved me and stuff and wanted to take care of me.
Sitting a few tables away, the Huddleston family.
Thank you for our family. Thank you for our family and everything, amen.
An extended family that includes 6 children.
Most of our children are Native American. Some are not. But, all kids need love. It doesn't matter what race they are.
1 biological son, 3 adopted daughters, 1 foster child, and a grandson. Their meal was also free.
Last year, we spent over $500 for for Thanksgiving.
They didn't win a contest. All they did was love children who weren't their own.
These are the real heroes in this community.
Santiago Restaurant and U.S. Foods picked up the bill today, providing meals for dozens of Albuquerque foster families, 240 people to be exact. The cost in the thousands.
It's not about the money, it's about the love.
But the giving doesn't stop there. A group of 30 volunteers put their Thanksgiving on hold so they could feed families they barely met today.
That's the best part. That's the best part. The smiles, they're excited for their turkey, their drumsticks.
Crystal Gutierrez, KRQE News 13.
It's the first time the business has provided the free meal at Santiago's restaurant. In addition, Sandia Peak Tramway cut the tram ride cost for the foster families.
I mean, if that doesn't capture the essence of holiday time, and I remember when I was a younger person, young child in the foster care system, I didn't like holidays. I didn't want to be in the festive mood, and because when you're taken away from a mom or a dad, abruptly, you don't really want to be anywhere. You really just want to be with that mom or dad or a family you just left. And when you see it was always bittersweet, but I do know, learn the greatest lessons in life around the dinner table at holiday time in foster homes, because what they to do was provide a temporary family, but to teach. I learned how to be a family, how to be part of a family, how to have dinner at the table, because now as a psychologist, cognitively, if you have dinner or have meals around the table or with family, your chances of being more cognitively developed and with your verbal and nonverbal skills are significantly higher. So I learned, and I see around holiday time, it can be very challenging.
Yes, and I love that you said that there was a learning curve for you here. First of all, sometimes when you get into foster care, depending upon where you came from, it could be a shock. It could be a culture shock. It could be just a shock in environment and how to really react in those kinds of situations. I remember when I was younger, I remember bits and pieces of the holidays where they were really, really great and, very happy and everything else. And as I got older, it seems like I did celebrate them, but in a different way. It was celebrated differently and eventually not celebrated at all in that aspect. I don't remember a lot of table, sit downs, with the food in the middle of the table, like you see those things in the movies and everything else. Thanksgiving I don't recall it being like that for me. And so.
Well, I'm sorry, one foster home I was in, I got to tell the story because it's kind of funny. It was my brother went there first. We were older. 3 months later, I joined him in this foster home because sometimes you get separated from siblings, unfortunately. But this home had other foster children, but they had 3 biological children, all girls, all musically talented. And I learned how to sing the Carpenters songs over and over again. But at the dinner table, one of the youngest biological daughter, Ruth, would always, and we were similar in age, would kick me under the table. And then I would kick her back. And then she would kick me. And I would kick her back. But I would always get into trouble. Ruth never got into trouble. And it was just funny remembering those times, because when you look back on it after all these years, there are, at least for me, there was some hope that I had, but I never wanted to be there. I just wanted to be with my mom. So this show is about understanding the goods, the bad, and the pitfalls and the challenges of the system. So we're not going to, it's not going to be completely a challenge for the foster care system across the country, although we're going to do that. We're also going to highlight inspiring stories, highlight children that have overcome their challenges in life at a young age, but also to look at how they navigated and how they want to inspire others.
Yes, I love that. And there's a lot of children that want to inspire others. There's a lot of children that have gone through the system, have gone through certain challenges and became amazingly successful. And we really want to highlight them because a lot of times I have found in foster care, sometimes it could be a little bit bleak. Now, it's not always that case, but sometimes it could be a little bit bleak and you don't know what your, life is going to look like, when you emancipate out. And so here's, and at times, in those times, there's also a lot of times in Thanksgiving that sometimes we forget how to be thankful or what to be thankful for. And sometimes we need that little reminder, maybe the 25 ways to be thankful.
Oh, okay. I think there's a young kid out there who's a little older now, but Kid President has a video that he put together, 25 ways to be thankful, and Thanksgiving time is a good start. Let's check it out.
So let's be real. Some days are hard. So I made this list of awesome things I'm thankful for. Yeah. Sometimes I need reminding that things are not all that bad. So I wanted to share a few because you guys are my friends. It's great to be alive. And here's some reminders why. First one, bubble wrap. When cats do their tongue, like this. I'm also thankful for the little paw pads like the cats and dogs have and the sound it makes. Paw pads. I love them. Hey, turn that back on. Oh, no. Change it. Ah, there, that's better. Music is magical. It can make anything better. Right music can make a video better. The same goes with life. Singing. I like paw pats. Singing. If something's boring, just sing it, and that will make it better. Watching paint dry. It's really cool. Old people who still hold hands. Clouds that look like stuff. One time I saw a cloud that looked like an airplane, and I realized it was an airplane. Imagination. Without it, we wouldn't have airplanes, no internet. Pants. We gotta wear them, because if we didn't, it would be sort of awkward. Pants. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Sleep. Clothes with funny names, like Windbreaker. Birthday cake. No reason at all cake, just cake. Sorry, we filmed this while I was hungry. Forgiveness. I'm Kid President, but I ain't perfect. Ain't a word. We all mess up. Come on. Don't mess up and forget to forgive all the mess ups. Thankful plants undergo photosynthesis, using the energy from the sun to convert carbon dioxide to oxygen, providing us with the air we need to do things like this. I'm bored. Morgan Freeman's voice. Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman. I'm working on it. My voice is changing, but it hasn't changed that much. Food. Taco. Burger. I know, I already said food, but this is my list and my rules. Happiness. Sadness. Sad isn't bad. It helps you know what you care about. People. Sometimes people can be really people-y, but we need each other. Life's better with people in it. Family, friends, you. Just being alive. Sometimes we forget how it's just great to be alive. We're breathing. Some days are tough, but we got a lot to be thankful for. We just have to look for it sometimes. They say if you have food in your fridge, clothes on your back, and a place to sleep, you're richer than 75% of the world. I did not know that. So what would you add to the list? Let me know. Share this video with someone you're really thankful for. Oh, and of course, also this. Dancing! Brad and I are thankful for all of you. Seriously, thanks for giving us and the whole world a reason to dance. So what are you thankful for? Let me know. KP out. Keep going. I'll call this move the stovetop stuffing. I'll call this one the stuffed face nay. I forgot one. There's something that I'm really thankful for. Uncle Jesse from Full House. This is macaroni art of him. It's beautiful. Have mercy. I'm filming a video to encourage people to be thankful. KP out.
You got my vote. He's got my
That
heart.
was so cute.
I know, I know. He puts together some great inspirational videos, and at such a young age, and we need more of that. We need more of the young people stepping up and inspiring others. He does a wonderful job, so that's really cool. This weekend I had the opportunity. I do a lot of work with domestic violence shelters, and we've been doing my show for 10 years now, and a nonprofit for 10 years. So this weekend we had the opportunity to take a bunch of young people bowling, and they hadn't been bowling in a while. They live in a shelter. Their moms had to flee their situation, so they're not in foster care, but they're living in a shelter. And if it wasn't for their moms or dads, would be enforced, but they're inspiring. We had a great time over the weekend at a bowling alley in Long Island, and we had pizza, we had music, and they bowled unlimited bowling. So it was a really cool time. And this is what our program does. Chapters Community Support Services is giving back. We're giving back on Thanksgiving Day. For 10 years in a row now, we've been giving turkeys out to the community. We're going to do it this Thursday. Thanksgiving morning. We'll do a live broadcast. Denise, you're more than welcome to call in and join us. We're collecting canned goods for an organization called Long Island Cares. We're collecting toys for Trisha's kids. And Assemblywoman Mikhail Salaj is going to be there, District 22. She's the first Haitian woman-born assembly person in New York. Over the years, we've become good friends. We've collected toys. We worked together during the pandemic. She's co-hosted with me. She's a wonderful person, and it's all about giving back.
I love that. And they need it. There's so many people that have the hearts to want to give and want to do well and be a part of this wonderful thing and these wonderful things that are being done, but they don't know how to get started. And so it takes people like you, people like me, people like them to be able to kind of like show the way and show where they could get started.
It's well said. And what really inspired me, I get inspired still to this day. What inspired me recently was after our first show, you must have sent our show to a colleague or someone saw it. And this person wants to be part of what we're doing and wants to donate items to foster care children. Tell us about it, because we just did one show and we have a donor already. Thanks to you.
Well, it was actually God sent, I guess you would say. It was perfect alignment. I was in the right place at the right time. She was actually a surprise to me. So she got involved, and it was something regarding my children's school. And she got involved, and then, I told her, I start to, kind of like open up to her and let her know the things that I was doing outside of school. Because, when you go to school, most of the time, all they know you as a mom, right? They don't really know what you do, and unless you tell them. And I'm not that vocalized, I guess you would say. But I opened up to her, and when I opened up to her, I shared some links with her, and she was smitten. And she just said, "Hey, I have 4 people already that would like to donate, and I'm looking to get some more as well." And so. She is an amazing, incredible person. She also knows about the things that happen in the foster care world, as well as, the traumas that may go on with children in general. And it was just so amazing that came in alignment when it did.
When you told me that a couple of days ago, I was like, this is why I do what I do. It's moments like this, because I'm a clinician. I have trouble telling people, well, you're on TV, you're on radio. Why do you do all that stuff? Because I believe in strength in numbers. And I tell everybody that I'm connected with, it takes one person, one show to watch one thing. It's not about having 10 million views or this. I mean, that's great. But if you have that one person to connect with, then this is all worth it. This is our second show, and we're not even finished this second show, and we already have a donor. And you came to me with this, and I was so inspired by it. It's important for me to be reminded of the goodness that's out there, and then it validates on this whole journey, this media journey. So I want to thank you very much for being assertive and proactive in working this out. And we picked out, you came to me, since our show is also based in Florida. We work with a radio station, Tan Talk, down there, Clearwater Bay and St. Petersburg. There's a program that I work very closely with there called Joshua House. And they are for a program that they've gone through some challenges to maintain the amazing work that they do. So before we get further with talking about Joshua House, let's play a little video to show people what Joshua House is all about.
Just told you about the campaign to save a facility dedicated to foster children. And today we've got some good news to share. That campaign was deemed a success as the Joshua House in Lutz had its grand reopening of the 11-acre campus.
ABC Action News reporter Jasmine Stiles was on hand for the celebration and gets a first look at where they'll call home.
If it wasn't for Joshua House, I would not be the young adult I am today.
Back in 2013, Cynthia Fairman roamed the Joshua House campus as an employee, but she has an even deeper connection with the kids she watched over.
I was a foster child myself.
For about 3 decades, the Joshua House was a safe haven for kids like Fairman who'd been abused, neglected, or abandoned. Then in March of last year, the Children's Home Society of Florida decided to nix foster care services, meaning the children had to be out by the end of the month.
That led to some mediations, and then that led to more negotiations, and then the decision was finally made that we, Friends of Joshua House, would purchase our gift back.
Dee Dee Grundle is the executive director of the Friends of Joshua House Foundation. The nonprofit successfully bought back the property last July, and with the help of donors and a loan, they funded the $3.4 million price tag for the property and renovations. Grundle says it was a challenge getting the Joshua House in tip-top shape amid the pandemic.
My goodness, you couldn't get a contractor to show up. They were all really busy.
Volunteers helped with a lot of the renovations. Even Fairman and her business partner commissioned murals inside the bedrooms. There's still a little more work to do, but hope is on the horizon for the Joshua House.
This is not a shelter anymore. This is not a prison for some kids. This is their home, and this is going to be the happiest place.
In Lutz, I'm Jasmine Stiles, ABC Action News.
You know, when I watch that, I almost get teary-eyed because when you spend time in a shelter and in a foster home, there's a difference between a shelter and a loving foster home. And what she just said at the end, this is not a shelter. This is what they do at Joshua House. I've met Dee Dee Grundle a couple of times. We've done some work together. We honored her at a fundraiser last year in Florida. So when you came to me, it was no doubt I was going to ask Joshua House. And this donor, it seems like there's a couple of other people that are going to join her in supplying some things for these children there, right?
Yes, and that's the thing is that, you know, it just takes one, just like you said earlier, it just takes one just to spread the message, just to get out there, especially if they have the resources, if they have, you know, people that they know that want to join in. And that's what children need. I remember as a child during holidays, sometimes, you know, people, you know, that donated, that sponsored a child, which was me at times, was the only reason I got gifts and the only reason I felt included. You know how it can be when you go back to school and you're the only child that has not gotten anything for the holidays. It's really stressful.
It's very stressful. And I think there's a wish list that's there that our possible donors wanted to kind of see if we could pop that on the screen, some of the items that we're looking for. Foster children wish list: clothes, pants, shirt, jacket sizes, shoe sizes, toys, school supplies, laptops, computers, game systems, journals, money. These are things that we're looking to have or to obtain so we could put them in Joshua House and other programs and families down the road, right?
Yes, yes. And every little bit counts. And I think that some people think, well, what do I have to donate? What can I give? And realistically, it really just takes a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot of, resources just to, provide something for a child. And they'll, trust me, kids will be very grateful, very grateful.
And it's funny, when you brought this to my attention a couple of days ago, we were trying to figure this out because we weren't prepared to accept donations magnitude until we got our show rolling. Well, obviously we're rolling already, so and it's holiday time, so I can't better way to really start that engine and get these toys and supplies to the children in the foster care system right now.
Yes, yes, because Thanksgiving is here. Thanksgiving is this week, but Christmas is right around the corner, and that's why we wanted to start kind of like talking about it now, because lo and behold, Christmas is coming up fast, and we still have time to give, and there's like this other place that is so amazing and incredible that I know of. And it's One Wish. They kind of like do the same thing. And it's just all about the holiday spirit and giving. And so just being able to do that and start it up is what we want to do.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. And if you're just learning about the show, you're just glancing in, you're scrolling on your phone, this is called Fostering Legacies on our Chapters Network. Chapters Community Support Services is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was established several years ago. We help families and individuals in transition. We help them through adversities and challenging situations in life. We have a network of 17 shows now, including our show, which is every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Denise and I are in the throes of organizing the show. We're in the middle of putting a book together that we want to release next summer. And we talked about opening up a couple of summer camps in various places around the country for foster children to give them those experiences. What I just did yesterday for children in the shelter, but to go to a baseball game, to go to a play, to go to a concert, to bowl, to go to a movie, to go to a park, but to have kids that are sometimes invisible in the grand scheme of things because they're not part of a major program. They're part of the foster care system. So we're trying to break those barriers down.
Yes, yes. And that key word right there, invisible. Children being invisible. I know a lot of times that children can feel invisible, and children can, they don't even realize it. They don't even realize that that's their feelings at times, but it can create a lot of anger, and they don't understand how to proceed forward. And so when people step in and shine their bright lights by donating, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel loved. And so there's another amazing way to give. And this is just a little bit of inspiration on how to help give foster children Christmas gifts.
It's not too late. Yes, you can still help children this holiday season.
Every day you must do something good for someone.
Today, App Properties donated thousands of toys to 3 organizations, including the Jesse White Foundation. On a smaller scale, you can hop online. Foster children with DCFS have a wish list of gifts on Amazon.
These foster kids age range from infant to 21. That's where these gifts are going.
Your Amazon gift will be sent here for caseworkers to distribute. For older foster children, money donations are needed.
So a lot of the monetary donations that we receive end up going towards the older kids to supplement and get them those things and items that they really want.
If you want a drop-off event, head to the Pilsen Food Pantry Sunday from 10 to 2. They need more toys, and they'll also take coats of all sizes.
The more that we get, the more wishes we can fulfill for are kids that really deserve to have a nice Christmas this year.
You can also head to La Rabida Children's Hospital, where they help children facing chronic, lifelong conditions. Just drop off toys at the main entrance.
Any toys that are new and unwrapped, any infant toddler toys are specifically a priority for us.
Your donation, whether it's a toy or online, will certainly be appreciated.
I'm happy. I'm happy that my kids get to have a good Christmas.
They always make sure sisters and families always have something to go home with, and it's just so special, and it makes us feel really good.
So if you would like to help, if you would like to donate, please go to our website. There are so many organizations that need your help this season.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 show.
Awesome. I mean, what we're trying to do is help foster children around the country. And so we might be going back and forth a little bit. But before we talk about this video, if you're just tuning in, Joshua House is located outside Tampa. And if you want to donate to them directly, we have a link that we want to share, friendsofjoshuahouse.org. You can go right to them directly. And Amazon wish list is right there for them as well. It's very important. So jot that down, have that link, and I think it's important. But we're going to initiate these items that we're going to give them directly. But you're bringing up whole nother area, Christmas time. It's important, or holiday time. It's important to have that gift under the tree or to give it to a young person, especially that's in the foster care system, right?
Yes, it is. And let me just be transparent. And I just want people to understand this. Now, me personally, I don't celebrate holidays.
Okay.
But I know how very important it is to children that do, and children that could feel left out. And even for the people that don't really celebrate holidays, it's another way for you to be a blessing, for you to give a gift of love and kindness. And it doesn't necessarily have to be because of Christmas or Thanksgiving. It just so happens to fall at this time of the year. It's just a way to help a child to have a happy day and a happy experience.
That's well said. And, having, it's not about receiving gifts. It's about the connection you make with families, the connection you make with that love that they might be missing or had that void. I'm listening to you speak, and I know that you yourself have gone through the foster care system when you were younger. In case people just tuning in for the first time, in a minute or less, talk about how your younger years were in the foster care system, how that was for you.
Wow, in a minute or less, Steve?
Yeah, or as fast as you can.
So my time in foster care, when I was younger, it didn't really feel as if anything was wrong. It just felt like this was my life. As I got older and I saw the differences in other people and their life, I used to question, well, what does a family feel like? What does family dinners feel like? I may have experienced it a few times, but at the same time, it was a disconnect, especially when you go to different homes, because it's always a new start, a new culture, a new environment, a new tradition. And so, I wasn't able to make my own traditions or have a solid tradition growing up. And I think that is very important for a child to have, is some kind of solid foundation so that they could find out if they like it or not and then move forward. And so, that's a little bit about my little holiday experience.
Did you think that later in life that you'd be doing the work that you're doing now? I know you have children of your own, but did you think you'd come full circle in looking at the foster care system again in a different light?
Actually, no. I was just actually saying this the other day. Was it today or yesterday? I was just saying this. I was like, I would have never thought that I would be here. I would be here doing this from where I came from. And I think it was a video that I did maybe yesterday, I can't remember, but it was, the reason being is this: when I was going through my trauma, I didn't see a way out. I did not know how I was going to, have a happy life. All I could do was imagine. And I remember the 25 ways to be thankful is imagination. And that's what I did. I did that through meditation. And at the time, I did not even know that it was meditation. And when I started to meditate and I started to envision a different life for myself, a better life for myself, it made me to see things differently, what I could have post foster care, what I would want to work for. But I didn't even know that here I would have never imagined. I would have never imagined that I would be here doing the things that I was doing, writing a book, being a #1 best-selling author, on the road to ultimately get my PhD in mind body medicine, specializing in complex trauma and the healing process. I never would have known that. Traveling the world, going to, different countries, 11 countries, 29 states. I never, and being able to take all of my kids have passports. All 5 of them have passports and been out of the country to major countries. And so me being here and, where I came from, I would have never imagined, never. And that's why it's near and dear to my heart to be able to give that back to somebody else, give them hope, give them imagination, give them a dream that they could go and run after.
As you're talking, I rarely talked about the foster care system in the 10 years I've been doing these different shows. And up until recently, I've been starting to talk about it because it's a group of young kids that are really challenged in their cycles of trauma based on the family challenges that they have, dysfunctional families or separated families or abusive domestic violence. And I think if it weren't for these foster families stepping up, there'd be a lot of children really, really challenged and struggling even more than they're doing now. So when I hear you speak, I was just on a TV interview this morning, and the host asked me, are you doing a book? Are you writing a book? And yes, I am. I'm doing a book with a co-host of mine, Denise, on foster care. And this just happened this morning. And I said, being a product of the foster care system, this book is very important to me. But that question came up. I answered the way I did. And here we are tonight talking about our experiences in the foster care system and how we're using it to help others.
Oh, yes. And I couldn't be more grateful. Another thing they said, the 25 reasons to be grateful is, I couldn't be more grateful than to be able to do this for others. I was just talking to my son today, my eldest son, he's 20, and was getting to work today. I'm off from my regular job for the week, and my kids are gone at the moment, and I had some studying to do, but I was getting into the moments of getting things done within my business, my passion, my assignment in this life, my purpose. And I'm just so excited and everything else. And he said, Mom, you know what? I really hope that everything goes the way that you desire, because you really work hard and you really deserve it. You really want this, and I want this for you too. I said, well, thank you, son. And just having that inspiration from my own children to see the things that I'm doing. And then also him going and deciding to go to school for psychology. Nothing planned on my part. I didn't even know that he wanted to do that, but he wants to go get he's getting his bachelor's degree now, and he wants to go and move forward and get his master's degree in psychology to help other people.
Wow. And that is the circle of life right there. I mean, to have a son wanting to do that, it doesn't get better than that. And I know we have a video or two left, but I want to throw this out there because when you were younger, did you see color? Were things black and white to you, or do you see color now? Because this country is racially divided at times, and I can speak for myself. I've never saw color. I never saw the differences between black and white. I know they were out there. I know there were differences. I know there are differences, but I never had that feeling inside of me, no matter where I was. And I remember leaving a shelter, and I have to tell this story because I got in my first fight there. I lost my fight there, physical fight. I had a broken arm, and that was the time when my younger brother was in another foster home, and I was separated for months. When I broke my arm, a couple of weeks later, I was summoned by social services to go to another foster home, not even going to the one with my brother. But I remember being friendly with these three little girls. They were African American, and we would hang out together. And they'd always call me Stevie. And at that time, I had these long eyelashes, so they would follow me, and we became friends. And I remember leaving that shelter. They were sitting on the stoop when I was leaving, and the social worker's car was out front, and she had a suitcase for me, and they said, "Stevie, where are you going?" I said, "Well, I think I'm going to go to another house, but I'm going to come back tomorrow. We're going to hang out tomorrow." But you know what? Tomorrow never came. And I never knew what happened to those three girls. So when you're in the system, your heart is broken over and over again. And we shouldn't lose sight of that.
You're absolutely right. And, when you're moved around to different places and different foster homes, it really is traumatic. I know that the foster system at times is doing the best that they can and making room where they can for foster children. But that's another reason why the people with the hearts and the desires to give a child a safe, loving, happy home. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be rich, but just your heart needs to be there. The desires, and the desires also to work on yourself in order to be the parent that you want to be. We need those people. And that's another reason why we've created the show, to be able to inspire people to desire, that wants to desire to go ahead and do it, and learn how to make the steps possible so that they could get the children that needs them. So, and to answer your question, no, Steve, when I was growing up, let me just tell you this: color was not a thing for me. I didn't learn about color until everybody started calling me, and I'm just going to say it like this, an Oreo cookie. I was trying to figure out what was an Oreo cookie at my age. I think I was like maybe 8 when I first heard that word, that name, an Oreo cookie. And so I kind of never really fit in. I never really fit in. And so that's also another reason why I was kind of a loner throughout my life. But my thing was this: I've seen, people of all ethnicities do good, do amazing things, do beautiful things, be loving, be kind. And I've seen some people of different ethnicities be the opposite, even my own. And so what I take from that, and what I've taken from that all these years, and even with my kids I don't teach them that. I have pictures, and I wish I would have known that we were going to talk about this, because I have pictures of my son. Well, I'm probably not going to put that on TV, but I have pictures of my son with children that are not of his ethnicity, and he's having a ball, and their mom is like, "Hey, let's be friends and let's text your child as a doll." And they're amazing, incredible, loving people. People can be people, and that's what we want.
And you know what? I have my two daughters. Most of the time I lived in New York, but I lived in Maryland for a little while. And when they were both born, everybody was taking their children to Chuck E. Cheese. And I said, okay, I'm going to have birthday parties at home, dress up in costume with my children. But one year I took them to Chuck E. Cheese. But you know what? There was no diversity in this Chuck E. Cheese in Maryland. And I said, okay, I took them that one time. I had a terrible time there because there was no diversity. So the following week, I went to inner city Baltimore, took my two daughters, and went to Chuck E. Cheese there. And let me tell you, they had the time of their life because they learned diversity. They learned to understand other people that may not have what they have, or to have compassion towards other people. And since that time, my oldest daughter today thanks me for saying, she'll tell me, Dad, thank you for teaching me diversity. And I think that's the theme for this show too. Obviously, when you look at you and I, Denise, we look a little different, but we're doing God's work. We're bringing people together. It doesn't matter what someone looks like or feels. It's about bringing people together. And this life, this world is short. And that's why this show is so very important to me, because we have to bring people together. The time is now.
Exactly. I love that. And yeah, we just look a little bit different, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Your hair's a little longer than mine. That's what it is.
So I know that we have another video, and one of the things that I love about this video that we have is that it's very important that we don't forget about the children that are older and might have possibly already emancipated out of the system. But let's check out this video.
Okay.
I'm gonna not cry because I had a Chardonnay. I started this because I wholeheartedly believe in the love that I have as a mom, and I just want every single child in the entire world to know the love that I have for them. And so I am so committed to doing anything I can to make life better for you, for those that are still in the system, and I believe your experiences are the way to make that happen. So I can't thank you enough for coming, for being vulnerable, for being open to doing this. So you're all getting a $500 wish for coming out here and sharing your stories with us. We also have a very cool gift bag for you. They all have your initial. So this is just a little memory for you, so that you'll always remember this trip. So Faith will hand them out. And so this is just a little memento, just say thank you for coming, and we hope you'll remember us and stay with us, but it's not required. Your nominations were all beautiful, and we will share them all with you and cry later, because these people love you fiercely and shared truly beautiful stories about why you should come and share your experience. So go ahead and open your little memory box.
What? Explain. Explain, honey. My God!
You are all getting a car, and a year worth of insurance, and a year worth of gas. In addition to that, your gift bags have $1,000 worth of gift cards in there. I love that some of you just thought it was a cute keychain. Our experience of knowing that transportation is one of the biggest burdens, one of the biggest obstacles for those who spend time in foster care, who experience crisis. And we knew that, if we're going to ask you to give so much of yourselves, we want to help you succeed in every way we can. So there's a lot of details about how to claim the car and what it is and all that, and it is going to be one you can choose. So we will do that later this evening. So there's one more.
Open it up. I love you, baby.
You're gonna cry with this girl.
Right. Yeah.
Show us your key. Show us your key.
So everybody knows. So Faith has planned this entire event and didn't know that she was going to also be one of our recipients. I also, you all have a beautiful letter in your bag from the person who nominated you. You don't have to read it tonight. This was already a lot. I've read them and I have cried my eyes out because they are beautiful. You are very loved and supported, and I hope you all know this. And so if you don't want to read them tonight, don't. If you want to cry more, go ahead and read them. They're beautiful. We'll make sure you guys get all your bags, and we'll talk about logistics, but for the rest of the night tonight, please just enjoy yourselves, relax and celebrate, and just be with each other and connect to everybody. And I just want to say there are people in this room that made this all possible. I'm not going to embarrass them and call them out, but everybody was behind making this come true. So thank you again so much for coming, and thank you.
Wow.
Wasn't that lovely? Steve, don't cry. You're going to make me cry. Oh my God.
I'm a mush. Yeah. When somebody, I mean, when you take that in, getting a car, getting insurance and gas and money for that first year, that's what we're talking about. When these kids age out, when they transition to, quote, the real world, after all this trauma and adversity growing up, who steps in? Who helps them with that transition? And that, oh my God, that was so beautiful. And that's something, if we could ever replicate something like that, that's off the hook. That is a beautiful moment that
that's my
you
goal.
can tell how deeply they were affected and by that video. I mean, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
That was an amazing video, and I had to share it because I remember, first of all kids matter, but when you get older and you emancipate out of the system and you have nowhere to go, let me just tell you a story. I was in California. I lived in California, and I emancipated out of the system, and I needed to get to and from school, but I was living on the total different opposite side of, like, 60 miles away from my school. And I had to catch the bus to BART at most of the time, getting up at 3:00 in the morning and catching the bus to BART. I had my little daughter. I had to drop her off at daycare and get on the bus back to the BART all the way to school and come back at 9:00 at night and do it again because I didn't have a car. And I did that for some months until I was able to get a car. But can you imagine if, foster children were able to get, some kind of resources, some kind of assistance and help once they emancipated out of the system? But I know everybody cannot give cars, and that's wonderful. At this point in time, I can't wait to be able to give the cars and everything else. And that's the goal. But let's talk about some ways that we could create memories during the holidays. Just kindness doesn't cost a thing. So what are some of the ways that we could create, Steve?
Well, creating memories around the holidays is to really honor people that are out there that might be struggling, like veterans or people that that are challenged with different situations, and reaching out to them. I'm a community-based person, so when I do community-based events, these people come out to these things, and you get to know their stories. You get to know people that need a turkey. We have 50 turkeys this Thursday, and this for 10 years now, and over 20 people have already contacted me, letting me know that they don't have a turkey this year. Will you be here this Thursday? So to me, creating memories for other people, other parents that are out there trying to work 2 or 3 jobs, trying to fight for their families, but trying to put not just dinner on the table, a holiday dinner on the table. So to me, is creating memories is to empowering and loving each other. It's all about love. I think if we all had that piece of love in our heart, this world wouldn't be where we're at right now.
Absolutely right. I love that, creating memories. And, at times as growing up, and especially for any foster children that might be listening in that used to be foster children or even foster children now, at times you could start your own traditions. That's something that I learned. It's not about, coming from a broken home. I felt like I really didn't have an actual tradition, but I was able to learn to start my own. Even though I don't celebrate the holidays, and in the traditional way, I celebrate the holidays in the way that is best for me and for my family. And so that's one of the ways. Just create the memories, create the environment. Another way is allow the foster child to explore their feelings during this time. Be open, because they are going to have some feelings. They may even have questions. Be a listening ear. Be there to assist them through the processing of what they're going through. And the third one is let them know that they are a part of a tradition and family. The fourth one is, if possible, try and include the family, if at all possible. It's, they may have aunts, uncles, siblings, parents, grandparents. If it's safe and if it's conducive, if at all possible, and if it's okay with the agency or whoever you need to check on, try to include them. And the last one is let them know that their voice matters. Very important to give them a voice. A lot of times, especially being, going from place to place to place, they don't have a voice. They don't have a voice. And so we at times could be their advocate to give them that voice. What do you think, Steve?
I think that's very important. Keep that on the screen. Let's review that for a minute in case you're just tuning in. 5 things to help foster kids during the holidays. 1, create your own memories. 2, allow the foster child to explore their feelings during this time. 3, let them know that they are as a part of a tradition and family. 4, if possible, include their family, aunts, uncles, siblings, parents, grandparents, which is hard to do sometimes because the system doesn't allow that, but that's very important. 5, let them know that their voice matters. And I think these are so important for all of us to remember about what the foster child may need and what we need to do to empower, love, and support them. It's about creating memories. And I, this show has inspired me to do even more and more and more. And to end the show tonight, let's put the Joshua House logo back up there with their website and their link. And we're so very thankful that we have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 possible donors that are going to be helping this amazing foster care program located outside Tampa, Florida, real soon. And who knows, as the days unfold, as the holidays come to be, not just holiday time, we may have more donations, we may have more sponsors, and this show will continue to grow each and every week. So Denise, thank you so very much for what you do. This is one of my highlights of the week, and I know that we're giving our hearts and souls to people that really need it.
Yes. And thank you, Steve. You're amazing. And you're always doing wonderful things within the community. And I'm just so thankful to be here and to be on this journey.
Well, thank you, Denise. Thank you for tuning in. We know that you have many choices at night to watch or listen, to read. We thank you for tuning in. If you like this, share it with people, like it, make some comments. But if you're interested in donating and sponsoring a foster child, contact us, chaptersnetwork.org, or you can contact me directly, 516-476-6271. God bless. And Denise, next week, we'll have another amazing show.
Awesome. See you next time.
All right.
You can always count on me. I will always pick you up. Nothing's ever gonna